My name is Cathay McKenzie and I'm the Deputy Head of St Teresa's Catholic Primary School, and I also teach in Year 5. We first saw learning by questions when we went to see it at a school in Newcastle. It was a school over the other side of the city that were already using it, and it was like a demonstration. And our head teacher signed us up to this demonstration of it, and we went to have a look at it, and we were really impressed with what we saw. Matthew Price sort of showed us what it was about, and some of the teachers over there showed us how to use it and how they were using it in their classrooms. And immediately I thought, this looks really good. It looks like a really good resource for teachers and pupils. So straight away when we saw it, they did a demonstration of what it actually, how it worked with the pupils. So they set it up, and then we had a go at the question sets. And you could see that everything that was there was aligned to the curriculum. So I recognised everything from what we were already teaching, so that when we had a go, you could see that the children doing it would get the same out of it as what we were actually getting out of it. That was questions all linked to the things that they were learning about anyway in school. I think one of the things is just finding things now where we're engaging children with more technology and more things which they're used to using. And finding maybe online tools that they can engage with. And Learning by Questions really did that for us, because it kind of looks a bit like a game when you're playing it, but they're actually learning a lot from it as well. And finding new ways of doing things, and that's what it definitely does that. So we have quite a few pupils with EL, and we've been using it with some of those children, especially with things like reading, because we've found that that's really helped them to answer certain types of questions. One of the things that we looked at from sort of past SATs papers was looking at answering inference questions. And because Learning by Questions changes the type of questions that they get, so they can get the same text, but they can answer different types of questions, you can really set it, and it's sort of almost bespoke to what your school needs. And we work quite a lot on in my class and doing some group work with AEL children. And one of the AEL children actually came across just the other week to one of our teaching assistants and said, it's really helped me because now I know how to answer questions, but I also know how to answer different types of questions. We don't necessarily have a high proportion of pupil premium, but we do. I think our pupil premium is about 17%. We do have a proportion of AEL children in the class, and Heaton is it is quite a diverse area, and in my class I do have children that speak English as an additional language, with quite a few different languages, so we've been using it to help with that as well. I think it's really exciting because I know that the children engage with it really well. It's really good from a teacher's point of view for planning, and I suppose teacher wellbeing is a really big thing at the moment, and it's really good for that because it's all there for you. The question sets are set out, they match the curriculum. You know that it reliably matches the curriculum as well, because if you go into it and you know the curriculum well, you can see that it's got the Year 5 objectives in, or the Key Stage 2 objectives. We use White Rose Maths as well, and that's something that it links really well to. And at the click of a button, I can just set a question set, which then goes straight to the children. It doesn't involve me needing to plan a lot of extra activities. Sometimes we can use it at the end of a lesson as an extra, or sometimes it can be used as an intervention. And like I said, it's all there for us already. Another great thing is the feedback that we get from it as well, because that's something, you can sometimes spend a long time trying to tick objectives, whether children have managed to get them or not, but it does it all for you, gives you a spreadsheet at the end, and it's all there for you, so you can see the gaps and then address any misconceptions. So when we're using Learning by Questions, you can see straight away that the children, if they're struggling with anything, it comes up on the teacher's screen. You get a list of pupils which can be anonymised, or you can switch it on so that you can see who they are. And you can address those misconceptions. It comes up with a number across the top and how many attempts the children have had at the questions, or if they've attempted it and they keep getting it wrong, it comes up as red. And we will look at that question, we can pause it so that the class all stop together and we address that instantly. So the feedback they're getting isn't after the lesson or the day after, they're doing it in the moment, and that really has a big impact on their learning. So the children get really excited when they see that we're doing Learning by Questions, because it is, they've got their own tablets. We're part of the Shine project, and it means that they've got ownership over it and they can work at their own pace as well. So they really enjoy the fact that that's being set. When we set it as a challenge as well, maybe towards the end of the lesson, they really enjoy the fact that they've got onto that challenge, and it works really well at starting off with sort of easier questions and then going deeper and deeper as it goes along, so they know how far they're going. They really like the fact that it looks more like a game as well, so they're getting that sort of element of it. And the other thing that they really like is the fact that if they get something wrong, it's not necessarily, it's not a bad thing, because they do get to retry it. So they get a clue as well as to what they might have got wrong in the answer. And then that's that sort of self-challenge and that resilient side of it that they're promoting as well. And they're really getting the chance to keep going with their learning. So if we press pause in the lesson, the start going, some of them go, I was in the middle of doing something, but it is a really good option to use because you can address something as a class straight away. I often have a look and I see if there's something that a lot of children are getting wrong, and I know, that can't be addressed individually, so we use it to address the whole class at once. They do kind of really want to go ahead and just get on with what they're doing. So sometimes they can feel a little bit, like, but then once they've had that input, they get straight back into it and just off they go again. And, they really like it. One of the impacts that we've found are on groups of children. So some of our EL children have found that it's been really useful to help them with different types of questions and how to answer different types of questions. For example, when we've been doing reading tasks, they now feel that they understand how to answer inference questions and vocabulary questions and retrieval questions, and they can recognise them a little bit more. That links well to our curriculum, where we use something called Vipers to answer different types of questions, so it links really well with that. And some of our children who need extra support, we often set learning by questions as interventions for that. So they might go out as a smaller group with a teaching assistant and they do extra work on something, especially if it's something that we found they have needed during the lesson as extra support, then we can set that straight away. In maths, we often do pre and post tests. So we sort of do a test at the beginning, a pre-test at the beginning of a topic and then at the end of a topic, and we use the white rose. So we started using the learning by questions set that is like an assessment review at the end, and we've noticed from that the children are making good progress from doing that assessment at the beginning and at the end and using learning by questions in between. We've noticed that they're making good progress. So we originally went with the project because they were learning by questions. We're doing this Shine project, so you could get tablets for your class. So we got 2 sets of tablets, one for year 5 and one for year 6. So straight away, even before you put the learning by questions onto it, that was a big impact because they've got access to the technology. We can use other things that we already use and in school, other apps and websites and things that we know they need access to on those tablets, but then put the learning by questions on top of it as well. We've got instant access to so many question sets that are linked to our national curriculum and what we deliver. So the impact has been really big for that respect. I know the children really enjoy it. It's been, it gets lots of good praise and lots of good reviews from the children themselves. So we know straight away that it's a worthwhile investment. Learning by Questions is a really good programme. It saves time for teachers. It's, works towards teacher wellbeing, which is a really big area at the moment. It's great for pupils because they feel like they're sort of playing the games, but they're also, that they're learning a lot at the same time. It's got all the links that you would need to the national curriculum, so it saves time on planning. The pupils get instant feedback, which is the most important feedback that they can get because they can act on it straight away. And it's great for assessment and from the teacher point of view as well, because you've got all the information that you need at the end. It makes me, I feel really good that I can use it. I know that, I know it's there. I know that I can use it for different purposes. So we might use it as a whole class, we might use it as an intervention, or we might use it in groups, or it can be used for extension work as well, or support. So I know that, there's always something there, and I know it can be tailored to the children's needs as well. So it's a really good tool for me to use, and we use it very regularly, if not every day. We'd really miss Learning by Questions if we took it away, because you feel it supports us so much in our teaching, and it supports the children now as well, and we feel like it's become part of what we do in class. So I think it would it would be a really big miss if we didn't have it anymore, and it really it's helping them learn.